how to control the central nervous system when in times of panic or nervousness and whatnot. And so this is also a practice, and this is actually one of the basis of when we're dealing with self-sabotage, when we're dealing with the challenges the mind faces, because everyone's going to experience this to some degree or another. Another way to even ask the question is how to be able to control my nervous system when I want to, because it's not even just to calm down, but also if we can control our nervous system so when it's time to show up and be alert and excited, it goes both ways. So the main way to practice that is, I mean, there's different tools you could use, everything from breath work to different types of meditation, but the main thing is to start to put yourself in an environment that's going to allow you to be able to react consciously. So an example would be if you're constantly in your fight or flight system of the body, which is your sympathetic nervous system, where you're constantly over engaged, over activated. It's very hard to make conscious decisions. Very hard to go to a deliberate place in your mind to see how do I want to respond. You're typically going to respond from a default position or from a subconscious position. So the thing that we want to do is we need to make sure we put ourselves in a somewhat of an environment that feels safe and secure. Now, if you have challenges with feeling safety, security, and trauma around that, there's a particular other approaches we want to take, but the basis is find a situation that you're going to feel safe and secure around, people you feel safe and secure around, that you can at least be vulnerable around and feel comfortable around. That's just the fundamental. Otherwise, we're just going to be in that animalistic programming of the mind where it's just go, 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 go. Trying to stay alive, survival, if you will. That's not going to work very well. And the next step is we need to train the subconscious mind, because there's really no difference between what we're thinking and what our actions are. We might think there's a difference, but what we're constantly thinking about is the direction we go in life. Where attention goes, energy flows. The things that we're constantly putting in the mind is what consumes our life and which consumes the direction that we're going in life. So the next step is to make sure that you're deliberately putting information into your subconscious mind that's going to propel you in the direction that you want, as opposed to living in fear and having the programmings of fear and overwhelm taking care. Because that's a decision. If you're ever sitting there and you're noticing, you're like, oh, I'm afraid of this, I'm feeling overwhelmed by this. That's a decision. You can make a decision to first, you want to core yourself, get into a safe, secure environment. And there's different practices that you can do to pull you into that safe, secure environment. So that when you overstimulate, what do you do to connect? Once you've done that, you have to deliberately put into the mind and even frankly, get your body involved, that are going to move you in the direction of life that you want. So it has to be a combination of both. But the challenge is here's alignment. Everyone go like this. This is, when we offer prayers like this, it's the same thing. This is alignment. This is when we're centered, we're in our core self, we are ourself. When we step outside of that, the fear, the overwhelm, the anger, the sadness, whatever the case might be, these are healthy emotions to experience. However, we want to do everything that we can to pull back into a center where we can consciously act and consciously think. Once you've done that, then make deliberate practices to start to train your subconscious mind to move in the direction that you want. So a specific example for you, I wanted to give an example that would be relevant for everyone. A specific example for you is practice putting yourself in an environment where you are surprised. Or there's because an exam, that's what it is. You sit down, you're overwhelmed. Practice putting yourself in environments like that, and you can do what's called wild immersion. And so what you're putting yourself in this situation where you're training your nervous system to calm down, and then you follow it up with certain tools. There's everything from meditation to breath work to chanting to, there's a long list depending on each and every one of your psychophysical natures, but find one or two things that that if you do them, they're going to bring you back to center, and start doing that on a regular basis. Make a particular behavior or a habit out of that. And then especially do it before you're going to go into those environments where it's going to be overwhelming, and do it before. And then even when you sit down, you can do it as well. Close your eyes, do some breath work, something like that.